Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Shilpa Srivastava, MS ENT. Presently, I'm working in Shadan Institute of Medical Sciences as Associate Professor in ENT department. Today, I'm going to talk about mucormycosis or the black fungus. So, as India is battling through the second wave of COVID, nothing is causing more news than the increased number of cases of mucormycosis or the deadly fungus. So it is also being called as an epidemic now by the government. So as the number of cases are increasing, we are going to discuss in details about this mucormycosis. So what is this mucormycosis? This is a rare but fungal infection which rapidly grows into the body, and it is caused by the mold called caused as mucormycetes. So this mucormycetes molds or the fungal spores are usually present in damp or places where there is lack of hygiene, and also in the places where there is rotten wood present. So these are the places where this fungal spores grows rapidly and found in abundance. So what are the types of mucormycosis? So there are four types, one being rhinocerebellar mucormycosis or orbital mucormycosis. So this is, as the name suggests, mucor being the fungal infection. It first starts with rhino, that is the nose, and it extensively spreads to the brain, which is called as cerebral, and it also extends to the eyes. So this is commonly seen in post-COVID cases. Second being pulmonary mucormycosis. So it affects the lung most and it spreads to the other organs as well. So third type is gastrointestinal mucormycosis. So it occurs in the food pipe and it also drastically grows in the stomach and intestine areas. So third is cutaneous mucormycosis, which usually spreads in the skin and the nails of a healthy human being. So this is also called as cutaneous mucormycosis. Fourth type, it is called as uh, ophthalmic mucormycosis. All it affects the eyes, and other variants also are involved. And how does it spread? So usually when these fungal spores are inhaled in the human body, it goes and enters into the nasal passages of a healthy individual and traverses into the body and spreads drastically in other organs. So this inhaled fungal spores usually goes into the bloodstream, and with the patients with low immunity status, such patients are being usually being involved. So what are the predisposing factors? So, first being uncontrolled diabetes. So, increased sugar levels is one of the major cause of this rapidly spreading mucormycosis. So, this fungal infection usually eats away the glucose or the high level of sugar present in the blood. Second, usually it is caused immunosuppressions by the steroid. So excessive use of steroid causes immunosuppression. Hence, this fungal infection rapidly grows in such individuals. So third is renal or liver transplant. So this is also a very important case when the immunosuppression drugs or this patients uses such kind of drugs, it grows rapidly. Then the fourth predisposing factor would be patients of malignancies when they use chemotherapy. Such patients are usually vulnerable to this disease. So, coming to the signs and symptoms, or how do we acquire this infection? So, when this fungal spores enter into the body, it starts eating away the normal mucosa or the tissues, and it causes the necrosis of the tissues, and it shuts down the blood supply of that area, and hence the black color or discoloration, gangrenous formation occurs. Hence the name what it is called as black fungus. So other signs and symptoms includes, it is, to start with, it initially starts as a sinusitis infection. So the patient will have a one-sided nasal obstruction. So patient will not be able to breathe from one side, and nasal discharge. So nasal discharge would be sometimes blackish in color, and sometimes there is blood streaks present in the nasal discharge. Other symptoms would be excruciating one-sided headache or pain over the eyebrows area. So that is another symptoms. Third symptom would be Also, if it extends to the other area, there will be pain over the cheeks. When the pressure is applied over the cheek area or the eyebrows area, there will be pain. And sometimes there will be numbness of this side or the jaw area when there is lack of blood supply to that area. And also if it extends, it can extend to the eyes, and patient will have blurring of vision or diplopia. Diplopia meaning double vision. So these are the other symptoms. Sometimes patient will have blackish discoloration over the palate area when it extensively grows downwards. So patient will experience toothache, and sometimes there will be loosening of teeth. So these are the important symptoms you have to watch for. So what is the management of this case? So coming to the management of it, firstly, if the patient or if an healthy individual or post-COVID cases has these kind of symptoms, they should be very vigilant and contact your nearest ENT surgeon. So an ENT surgeon would go ahead and do with the diagnostic nasal endoscopy. So a camera is being introduced into the nasal passage, and we check for the lesions. If the lesion is present, we take out a small amount of it and send it for KOH or culture mounting. And once it is being confirmed that it is this mucormycosis, we will go ahead and start with the antifungal treatment. So commonly used antifungal agents are amphotericin B, liposomal amphotericin B, as well as isobuconazole and posaconazole are being used. And these are given IV to the patient, and the patient is prescribed usually with MRI at galvanium contrast enhanced MRI. So we have to see the lesion and its extent. So once the lesion is confirmed, we go ahead and go do the surgical debridement of that area and its extent. So if it is extended towards the orbit, we have to sometimes even remove or excentrate the orbit, as well as the jaw area which is being involved. So that is the treatment part of it. So it is usually a multinodal approach. So an ENT surgeon along with an ophthalmologist and orofacial maxillary surgeon is also required in this surgical debridement. So what are the precautions or do's and don'ts we need to see in these cases? So first most important is the post-COVID patients should monitor their glucose levels. So glucose levels should be always monitored vigilantly, and if there is increase in sugar levels, they have to contact the physician and take the anti-diabetic drugs. And also second thing is, you don't have to use steroids for long term. So only if the physician or the doctor has prescribed you the steroids, you need to take only at that much duration and that much dose. And thirdly, don't misuse or overuse antibiotics or antifungals. So that is very important. You have to even maintain your personal hygiene as well as hygiene of the surroundings. So surroundings, as in you need to have a well ventilated place. So if you're isolating yourself, there should be good ventilation in that room. So other symptom or other precautions what you need to take is the use of sterile water in the humidifiers. So humidifiers should be clean, and the water should be sterile enough. So other things you have to take care is you have to be monitoring all these signs and symptoms, and also contact your ENT surgeon. In healthy individuals, usually we always tell them to use nasal douching. So you can use saline nasal douching along with 0.5% betadine. So, and also you have to build your immunity really good. So these are the do's and don'ts. So what is this summary of this mucormycosis is that you have to be very vigilant, and early signs and symptoms and early recognition and early prevention is better than the exact surgical treatment part of it. So I hope this has been helpful to all of you, and I would like to end my topic here. And I would wish everyone stay safe, stay home, stay healthy. And if there are any queries, you can contact us in our helpline numbers. We are always there.